SOS by Rebecca Lisie, illustrated by Beaky, turquoise background. Beaky the woodpecker and his family lived in Fiddle Forest. They tapped and pecked the trees with their long beaks. Tap, tap, tappy, tap. They found insects and creepy crawlies in the bark to eat. Tap, tippy, tippy, tap. Mom was making their nest hole in the tree bigger. Suddenly a great wind blew. Tap, 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 tap. Dad tapped out a warning on the tree. The leaves swished and the branches swayed. The woodpecker family flew back to the nest, but Beaky was chasing a butterfly. Suddenly the wind blew more strongly. Whoosh! The wind blew Beaky right out of the forest. He tumbled, rolled, twisted, and turned as the wind carried him away. It blew him over the huge sea and far away from the trees and mountains. At last, the wind dropped and Beaky landed in the mountains. Everywhere was gray and rocky. Beaky tapped the rocks. Plunk, plunk, bink, bunk. That didn't sound right at all. A great eagle flew down beside him. What a strange noise, said the eagle. Why are you hitting the rock? You can't eat it, but I can eat you. Beaky quickly flopped away. Where's my home? He wondered. Where's my family? Beaky flew back over the high mountains until at last he saw trees below. What was that Fiddle Forest? But the trees were huge and the leaves were huge. Vines and beautiful flowers grew everywhere. Beaky started tapping on the back of a tree. Trap, trap, trappy, trap. That didn't sound right at all. That didn't sound like the trees at home. Suddenly there was a flash of color as tree parrot swooped down. Caw, 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 the yellow parrot cried. What an awful noise you make. Squawk, squawk, quack, the red and green parrot said. That's a terrible din. Go eat, screech, they shouted. What a terrible noise you make, said Beaky, flapping away. He flew away from the jungle, over towns and over lakes. Where was the Fiddle Forest? On and on he flew. How will he ever get home? Now everything was blue below him. He was flying over the sea again. Beaky had flown such a long way. He was very, very tired. So when he saw a boat, he landed on it to rest. Look, said the fisherman, a little woodpecker. Poor thing, said his granddaughter. Jenny, it looks exhausted. They fed Beaky some nuts and seeds and they gave him fresh water. Beaky began to feel better. He'll leave when he's ready, said the grandfather said. Although this wind is getting stronger, it might be dangerous. Jenny, do you know what to do if we're in trouble? Something about Morse code, Jenny replied. Yes, the most important message to know is SOS. Grandfather told Jenny. SOS stands for Save Our Souls. It is message you send if you are in danger. It goes dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. All right, I'll try and remember that, said Jenny. Grandfather used a machine to sound out the Morse code. The tapping sound reminded Beaky of his first home. Soon Beaky felt brave enough to perch on Jenny's shoulder. He watched everything Jenny and his grandfather did. He especially liked it when grandfather made messages using Morse code. Dot sounds like dit, and dashes sounds like da. Grandfather Grandfather went on deck with his telescope. Land ahoy! We'll be home in just a few hours. But the sea was getting rougher. The waves were high and suddenly the boat crashed into a rock. Grandfather fell over and couldn't get up. Water was floating in. Jenny, you must send an SOS, Grandfather cried. Jenny panicked. I don't remember how. But Beaky knew how. He watched Grandfather and he remembered the sound an SOS made. Beaky flew to the Morse code machine and tapped with his beak. Dit, 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 da, 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 dit, dit, dit. He did it again and again. It worked. The message was sent and soon a lifeboat came to rescue them. Beaky was rescued too, and they were all taken back to dry land. Thank you, little woodpecker, Jenny said. Grandfather, we should try and help him. In return, said Jenny. I agree, Grandfather said with a nod. Let's take him to the forest. I've seen woodpeckers there before. As soon as they put on dry clothes, Grandfather and Jenny took Beaky to the forest. Beaky chirped goodbye and flew up above the treetops. This forest looks familiar. Suddenly, Beaky heard a tapping noise. Tap, tap, tappity tap. It was his forest. There were his mom and dad and brother flying to greet him. Beaky was home. The end.